Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and for the first time in a long time we are actually back working on the BMW 760 Li, and we're hopefully going to be fixing a problem that's been a problem on this car ever since I bought it, and it is to do of course with the boot lid or the trunk. Now it of course has the automatic electronic trunk release where it is supposed to go up automatically, and you can press a button and it goes back down as well. It does work, the electronic side of thing does work, although it doesn't come up as it should and it doesn't go down as it should. So real quick then, let me show you exactly what happens when you press the trunk release button. So you can hear it, you can hear the motor trying to do its thing, but it just doesn't seem like it has enough power to lift it up. Now if you let go of this, it'll kind of hold where it is and then it'll just stop. And yeah, it's just not holding up at all. Now there's a few things that this could be. On these Bmw E65, E66s, it's very common for the reservoir that holds the fluid for the hydraulic system. It's very common for that to leak. Now you often know that it's leaking, often leaks out of the end of the piston, which I think the end of it sits around here, and you'll often notice a lot of fluid around this area. I did originally think that was the issue, but I noticed that there wasn't any fluid in this area, and I've actually checked the reservoir and that is full. It hasn't gone down a drop. So I actually think this is a problem with the springs or the shocks themselves. So as you can see, I have two brand new genuine BMW shocks or springs, struts, whatever you want to call them. Obviously there is one for each side, they're not the exact same part, slightly different. But yeah, hopefully we're going to try and swap these out today, and that will fix our very annoying issue, because yeah, at the moment you really can't use this trunk because yeah, it literally just falls down. And yeah, it's quite, you know, does have some weight to it, so it is quite heavy to try and lift up and force against the hydraulic system. So yeah, it's going to be a case of removing these trim panels, locating the shocks, removing them and installing the new ones. This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. For those of you out there who have been living under a rock and who are not aware of HelloFresh, they are a company that delivers fresh, great tasting ingredients direct to your door. Now for those of you who want to check out HelloFresh, there will be a link down in the description box below, along with a discount code where you can save 60% off your first order and then a further 20% for the next 2 months. So with my order, these are the recipes that I decided to go with. So for the first dish, we have a premium plus dish. This is a 21-day age fillet steak surf and turf with tomato, garlic prawns, herby roast potatoes and salad. As you can see, it comes with all of the ingredients that you're going to need. All of this is of course included. Right here we have the Christmas roast beef and big pigs in blanket. I am definitely looking forward to trying this. This is of course a roast dish, so it's going to take 60 to 70 minutes, and it includes 2 of your 5 a day. Again, comes with all of the ingredients which are included. And this one here, this is a family dish, glazed peri-peri chicken thighs, and this takes just 35 to 40 minutes to cook. Again, comes with all of the ingredients that are included, and this is the one that I'm going to be cooking for you today. So on the rear of the recipe card, we have a step-by-step guide exactly how to cook your meal. We also have the cooking tools required, ingredients, all of the nutritional information. This should be foolproof, so even I should be able to do this. Here is all of the ingredients included in the dish. As you can see, everything looking nice and fresh. Right, let's get cracking and let's see how we're looking when it's done. And here is the finished product. This looks so good. Cannot wait to try this. Now I want to say a massive thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring the channel. Remember, all details to check them out will be in the description box below. But now let's get back to the video. Okay then, so for starters, of course we need to remove all of the trim panels so we can access the shocks themselves. So I've just removed the boot flooring, the carpet, the trim piece that goes over the spare wheel. Now this is removing a lot easier than it probably will be if you're doing it yourself, because I have already had all this apart before. I've done an entire rear end retrofit and I knew at some point I was going to be tackling this issue, so I didn't bother putting all of the push rivets back in. But yeah, they are only just push rivets, just plastic, just pry up the top and then the bottom part of it comes out. But yeah, this trim panel can now come away. And are we going to have access to the strut yet? It's still pretty hidden. Then I'm going to have to get the motor for the trunk release, get that out of the way. I think it's a few 10mm nuts, fold that down and I'll probably have a better view then. As you can see, that's just this motor out of the way, just had in by those two 10mm nuts. Again, still can't really see a whole lot, so I need to get this out of the way. This is held in by that plastic nut there, which also holds this module in place. So yeah, next is to remove this. This definitely isn't going to be a 5-minute job. That's probably why BMW wanted so much for it. Oh yeah, I don't think I actually said, but if I was to get this job done at BMW, it's going to be £1,000. Yes, £1,000 just to replace 2 boot struts. Crazy. Oh, of course, there's another bolt holding it in place. Unplug this. What even is this, like a drip tray or something? It's the only thing I can think of. It does have a vent at the bottom which goes down through. Yeah, it's got to be some sort of drip tray. It's the only thing I can think of. And you can kind of see the strut now, but I don't think, I mean, if it pops off easy it might be easy enough to remove, but if not, then it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. I can barely even see the other end of it. So then, here's how we are currently looking, and I appreciate it's pretty dark in there, but essentially the shock is sat like that. So I'm going to pop off the retaining clip on that end, and then I don't know how I'm going to get to the one on the other end. Maybe a long screwdriver or a long pick tool. But yeah, that's what we've got to do. We've got to pop both ends off and it should then just come away. Alrighty, so I'm going to try a small pick tool to pop those clips off. Yes, got it. Hopefully we find something wrong with it now. As you can see, this is the original part. Managed to get it off. Wasn't actually that difficult to remove in the end. Sometimes these really end up being stuck on, but yeah, I managed to pull it off quite easily. So this is the original. This is the brand new part, both genuine BMW, but the part number is different. I think it's just been updated. So this original one, part number ends in 646, this one ends in 462. But yeah, they are both the exact same part. Spring rate looks slightly different, but they are both the exact same length. So yeah, it's probably just an updated part, but let's see how they perform, how they return. That doesn't seem too bad, to be honest. It's a little bit slow once it gets to the top. That really doesn't seem that bad. Let's see what the new one's like. Okay, I can't even push the new one down. Yeah, I think the old one definitely is bad because I can't even push the new one down, so there's going to be a lot more tension on this than the old one. Let's get the new one installed anyway. Ow. Yeah, these boots are definitely not designed to hold a 6'4" fully grown man. Let's hope this goes on nice and easy though. That's the right way around, isn't it? Did that just push straight on? Oh, that went on lovely. Now, just got to get this end on. That's gone on again, hasn't it? So there is one shock replaced. Let's see already if there's any difference. Okay, it's still going down. No, I'm not convinced there is much difference, to be honest. It just seems to stay better at the top though. Oh, that would definitely, at that angle, that would definitely fall down now. So it definitely seems like it has improved. I think we'll notice the biggest improvement once we do the other side. And I think the other side may be worse actually, so this is going to be fun. Let's get all the trim panels removed and then we'll see what we're looking at. Right, okay, so yeah, again, can't even see it yet. First thing I need to do is get this Bluetooth module removed, or out of the way at least. They're 8mm, not 10mm. Also need to get this bracket out of the way. And with this bracket now out of the way, I then need to get rid of this thing, which again, I'm pretty sure it's like a drip tray of some kind. And with that now out of the way, we can finally see the shock. So, the other end looks the exact same as that end, just a case of releasing that securing clip and that should pop off. This end though, it does go on the end of this piston, so you need to be careful not to break anything there. As you can see, it has this extra piece on it, so I don't know if it's a spring that goes in here, I don't know. So, got the shock unclipped on both sides. Now, I couldn't really work out when it was on there, but this piston thing here, it looks like it's just holding on to the shock by this clip. So I think if I pry this off, I should then be able to just tap this rivet through, I imagine, he says. Or maybe I've got to tap that through first. Well, that's that lifted up. It just pulls through then. So you just got to lift this clamp up, and it should just twist through. And I don't want to drop it. That's the old shock removed. That's this side all now clip back in. Let's test it out, I guess. Okay, it's not springing up as such. Maybe I have to activate it a few times. Let's get the motor put back on and see if it works. Okay, so motor back in position. It's definitely improved because that wasn't happening before. Let's push it down. Let's close it. It's still not lifting up, is it? maybe we now have air in the system. So I don't think it's low on fluid. It's definitely not leaking. Let's try and work them in a bit. Okay, so I'm really not sure what the issue is. So it just doesn't want to lift up. As you can see, the motor is working, but it just doesn't give it that initial push, and it seems very, very noisy. So it kind of sounds like there's air in the system, but I mean, I've had this off before. I tried to get as much fluid in there as I can, and yeah, it's literally at the max. Like, you can't get any more fluid in there, so I don't know how there could be air in the system. I'm not sure how you'd even bleed the air out of the system. So yeah, I guess this is another part of the job that I didn't anticipate, but I think I am going to leave this one here. Of course, we've done the shock replacements. They definitely did need doing, because like I said, the boot didn't even hold up before. The fact that it actually stays up now is, I mean, that's a win in itself. Like I said, I had to kind of, if I wanted to go into the boot, I had to hold it up with my head, so that definitely wasn't fun. But yeah, boot struts or shocks, they are now replaced, but we now have another issue, I'm guessing, with this. And like I said, it does sound like there's air in the system. If you have any suggestions, of course, do let me know down in the comment section below. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching this video. Although it wasn't the outcome that we kind of expected, like I said, it did need doing anyway, but another time for the other part of the job. Yeah, thanks for watching anyway. Give this video a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and I'll see you all in that next one.